Michael Hastings was a brilliant young journalist whose life was cut tragically short in a car crash in June. Michael joined me on the show last year. It was his last appearance on the show. As you'll see, he was as passionate as ever.
I think there's many other reasons Petraeus should have resigned besides who he's sleeping with that's not his wife. But I just want to make a point here. That the larger point that I've been making is that essentially the media has played a role in protecting David Petraeus and promoting David Petraeus and mythologizing David Petraeus.
A lot of people have spoken out about his life and death, but for the first time we're going to hear now from his widow, Elise Jordan, who joins me exclusively. Elise, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
You've been a regular on the show as well as Michael. Incredibly sad, incredibly tragic. How are you, first of all?
Just taking it day by day. I was blessed to have the time with him that I had, so I feel very lucky for that, and just taking it day by day.
There have been, as there always are in these situations, wild conspiracy theories that he was chasing some hot story, maybe connected to that, his late-night car crash in Los Angeles. Other theories too. Do you subscribe to any of this? Do you have any idea really what may have happened?
I have no doubt that he was pursuing a hot story. He always had at least 5 hot stories going. That was Michael. So, and he also there will be published his profile of John Brennan in an upcoming issue of Rolling Stone, probably in a couple of weeks. But right now, the LAPD still has an active investigation. I don't really have anything to add. My gut here is that it was just a really tragic accident, and I'm very unlucky, and the world was very unlucky.
He was a real one-off. I mean, the passion he brought that night on the show, the clip of the show was only half of it. He ripped into Petraeus and all those defending him and so on. It was very much his template. He was a passionate man, wasn't he?
Well, he loved, he loved to always challenge conventional wisdom. And that's what I think, there was so much controversy surrounding the McChrystal article. And if people actually really read the article, it's less about, the quotes here and there than it is the entire narrative that he brought together, which was challenging the narrative that counterinsurgency was working in Afghanistan. And so with the publication of that article, you can really see where the trajectory of the Afghan war changed. And he really had such an impact.
Well, huge impact. The New York Times, after he died, published an obituary which cast a bit of doubt on Michael's reporting, and you sprang to his defense, I thought, in a magnificent way. You wrote to the New York Times demanding that they retract some of these comments because you felt it was very unfair. Tell me about that.
Well, it's absolutely ridiculous and totally classless. And I think that the New York Times just has a real problem sometimes when other people get scoops and recognizing the contributions of other journalists. And if the obituary writer had bothered to go back and read the report, she would see that what she put out there actually was factually inaccurate. And so I still feel very strongly that we should have a retraction, but clearly the New York Times management can't step up to the plate and admit they made a mistake.
Yeah, pretty shocking behavior, I thought, all around by the New York Times. They should have just done it because you were right and they were wrong.